You're stuck with a no person thing again. No visual thing again. I was gonna wait, but I'm a little, what do you call that, frustrated right now. So, this morning I've already been in 2 different cars. I just dropped my brother off at the hospital because he's going for electroshock therapy or electroshock convulsive therapy. It's a month-long process every other day. He was a soldier in the Army. But, you know, before that even happened, there was things about him. And I can tell you what it is. And forgive me if I get a little angry when I talk sometimes. Because I know something. I know something that I believe, and I think could be very, very beneficial. I can tell you why people can't connect. I can tell you why people can't do certain things. And I can tell you that for as much as you might think it's because they're depressed and there's something wrong with them, sometimes that's not true. Sometimes the reason that person is like that is because of a natural reason. Why do something you don't have to do? That is what your functional brain is saying. I don't feel a need to do something. Because we end up feeling badly about this. We think there's something wrong with us, which then does create a problem. It does create some kind of an issue inside the brain. This is one of the things that's happening to children. Oh, well, the child doesn't talk very much, barely at all. Let me guess. They really don't talk except to maybe their family member, like their immediate family members. And as they grew a little older, they started talking to maybe a few other people outside the family, maybe even made a friend. But they're just not that outgoing of a person, and they're just not that talkative, and we're worried that something's wrong with little Timmy. Well, flippin' sakes, there's nothing wrong with little Timmy. His brain works a certain way, and you have to stop thinking there's something wrong with him and telling him there's something wrong with him, because now there is something wrong with little Timmy. Because you sit there and you tell him, oh, there's something wrong if you can't communicate better. Oh, no. Now there is something wrong. There wasn't anything wrong to begin with. His brain worked on need. Do I need to communicate with other people all the time? No. Just because somebody walks in a room and says, I'm going to make lunch, and everybody else says, yay, I want a sandwich, and that person doesn't mean that they don't want one. You didn't request it. You didn't say specifically, hey, Timmy, do you want a sandwich for lunch? Then Timmy will answer you. He might not be enthusiastic like the other children. He might just simply nod his head not even speak. But he is still communicating. Just because he doesn't need to speak on that level of communication, that high level of communication, does not mean that Timmy does not know how to communicate. When he needs to, he does. And I just get so angry because they have medication for children now that are like that. So no longer are we telling them there's something wrong with them. We're now medicating them for it. And I know what's going on in their brain. And I'm telling you right now, you have to stop. I'm sorry. I'm just a little, like I said, you have to forgive me, but I'm a little upset. Dropping off my brother, and I just want to scream. I figured his stuff out. He knows I did. He believes in my theory. It took me a weekend, I'll say a week, to figure his stuff out. He's been seeing doctors for years. I spoke to someone yesterday for a few hours and I had them figured out. I'm crazy, it's true, but I'm not that crazy. I will be. There is nothing wrong with some of these people until you tell them there's something wrong. It's common sense that if you look at somebody and tell them that something is wrong, that even if they do not believe you at first, eventually they will. They will start to question maybe there's something wrong. And now you have created the something wrong. Till then, there was nothing wrong. Just because they don't communicate or laugh or dance or want to go out and do things like you do does not mean there's anything wrong with them. I realize that sometimes some of these people even say that they want to do certain things and they can't. And there's a reason for that too. It's the same reason. The difference is you have to understand that your brain, the more functional you are, the more it works upon what it needs to do. It's not about want. My brother says that he wants to be able to recall his short-term memory, and he has difficulty doing that. And I say that's because you don't need to. Where do you actually need to? He knows how to get to the hospital. The part of the hospital even that he's supposed to go to. So obviously a short-term memory works when he needs it to. Need. Otherwise, he doesn't need it. He sits at home and stares at the screen, and if you say, I need you to go cut the grass, he goes and does it. I need you to go run this through the laundry. He goes and does it. He gets up right then and there and goes and does it. He does what he needs to do. He does what he is asked to do. Beyond that, the ability to say, what if? He doesn't have that right now. You make sense to things in the functional brain, the emotional brain will start working. If it makes sense to do so. Oh! There was something I didn't include in my book. I actually gave a little scenario of things with kids. And how parents want their children to connect with other children. Why? Do you connect with every person out there? No. Do you always feel like talking to everybody else? No, you don't. Sometimes I try to think of different examples that would actually apply. Because there are times even the most outgoing person doesn't feel like being outgoing. Like, oftentimes it's like when we're sick. But that's one of the only things I can think of. But that doesn't mean that that person that doesn't communicate and doesn't go out and do things doesn't mean they're sick. Our brains, when we are sick, goes into the functional survival mode. Do I need to do that laundry? Or do I need to stay in bed and rest? Well, so-and-so has a soccer game later on. So maybe you do throw that laundry in. But you don't worry about folding it after it's done. And maybe you're like me and you just washed it in the sink real quick and hung it out. Yeah, I did that. You do what you need to do and then you get back in bed. Well, that's how their brain works all the time, only they're not sick. You tell them they're sick. If I look at you and I tell you, oh, you look pale, you're looking a little under the weather, you're perfectly healthy. But guess what? Within no time at all, there's some people that are not healthy anymore, because now it's in their brain that they're sick. And that's what you're doing to them. Sorry, I'm still driving, so I can't just turn the video off, because that wouldn't be safe driving. And my brother's tire pressure is already a little low, apparently, just like my son's was this morning. Ah, what a fun day. I have to pull the weight around the house today because my mother needs me. She's sick. So she needs me to take care of all these other things. Funny, even if I wasn't feeling well, I probably would still be doing this, because it's a need that needs to be done. You'd be surprised. Actually, I'll go ahead and share this, since I can't turn off the video right now anyway. I was watching Monk the other day, and he said something about when it comes to his fears, this trumps this, this trumps this. Is that really true? I mean, obviously Monk is a fictional character, blah, 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 blah. But is that true for other people? You know, people who have lots of different fears, this trumps this trumps this. Because doesn't that mean then that if you're facing one fear and you're paralyzed, you can't move, you can't do anything about it, but then another fear comes along that trumps that fear, now what happens? Now can you move towards that first fear in order to get away from that second fear that trumps the first fear? I'm just questioning. I was just wondering. I feel crazy sometimes. It's okay. It happens. And I was going to pull over, but now there's this car over here. Oh, gosh. And I'm going to wait till they go that way. Oh, I might as well wait till I get home. I'm almost there now. Anyway, I just really wanted to share that, and I don't expect anybody to watch this video. I may or may not even publish it, I don't know. It just, you know, sometimes we just want to know someone's listening, right? Right. Well, if that person's not going to be sitting on my pen anymore, I guess I'm going to have to use you too. Fun. So much fun. Anyway, though, it's nice to know someone's listening, even if there's not really a whole lot of people listening. It's okay, as long as someone's listening. And the funny thing is doing this on YouTube is actually the best way to have a conversation with someone, because this way you don't actually have to listen. Like, I look at the number and I see the views go up, and I go, oh, someone listened. They listened for 10 seconds and turned it off. But because the view number went up, it shows somebody's listening. It's kind of like having a conversation with somebody and you really don't, so you're going, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, But you don't even have to do that part. You just have to make the number go up. Oh, that's fun. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Oh my gosh, I hate that thing. I just have to say that. I hate that. I don't like money. I don't like that I have to do the view thing. The number of views is what dictates how important you are, or how whatever you are. But I guess that's just the way of the world, so deal with it. Anyway. Sorry, collecting myself before I put this thing on. Hi! I just had to share that. Yeah, you got my face after all. Oh, I have a cold sore. I had one yesterday too. I didn't say anything in the video about it. Oh well. I had just gotten out of church. That's fine. But I just had to share that because it's just really upsetting. My brother even tried to set me up with his doctor, to talk to his doctor. But unfortunately, again, unless there's a need to say something specific, no. Now, if his doctor had said to me, it was online. I think was it during COVID? Doesn't matter. It was online. Now, if his doctor had said, okay, I'll give you a situation, here's your scenario to work with, maybe that would have been a different story. But no, he's just like, all right, well, what is it? What's going on? And the brain just kind of sometimes locks up, and then it unlocks, and then it locks up, and then it unlocks, and it locks up, and it unlocks. Little information. Actually, excuse me, what was I thinking of yesterday? Oh, yeah. When I was actually going to put a challenge out there. Not a challenge. I wanted some help. Maybe I'll make another video for this. Yeah, I probably should, because this is at 16 minutes, and I actually kind of wanted to put that out as a real video. So let me do that real quick. I'll be back.